Henshaw here again, your constitutional coup friend out here in California. And I've got a good video for you today going along with recent events. And if you've been following me, you know about the foreign state issue. And I'm a little embarrassed it took me this long to figure it out, but the framers got it in there, even though they couldn't envision what we have 230 years later. So it's good news all around. Doesn't matter whether you're dealing with foreclosure, eviction, child procurement, syndicate, homeowners association, anybody, because they're all in administrative tribunals and they don't have any jurisdiction over anybody or anything except corporate entities. And that's what they think we are. Exactly that and nothing more that comes from the 14th Amendment. And people who follow my videos know how dead set against that amendment I am. And I think I have all the justices, virtually all of them on the present court, on my side on this issue now. So we're going to get it there. And I've made it a lot easier now with what we're doing. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, where you are, anything. We're going to put a removal petition into the Federal Circuit Court. And we're going to direct it to the presiding judge and demand to be heard on the record. If we can't file documents quo warranto, on what authority? There isn't any. Those judicial courts have to be there. That's quite clear in Article 3. The judicial powers shall be vested. And it doesn't take an act of Congress, especially in this day and age. You'll learn more about that later. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, for information about my modestly priced constitutional defense document packets. And we have an absolute right to be there. No fees, no forms, no nothing. When we show up, that's an Article 3 court. You'll learn all about that too. That's the 9-0 part saying, not me. The U.S. Supreme Court in my former hometown of Washington, D.C. And it all makes sense. And that's good news for all of us. And will eventually, and I hope in the, they're going to do some more this term, by the way. Look out for a case, and I'll update you when we get it called SEC versus Jarksy out of the Fifth Circuit. Or they're going to unload on the administrative state again, and this time Elena Kagan ain't right in the opinion of the court, which she didn't do, by the way, in the Axon case. That was the last term a year ago today, May 1st. And, I'll send you that and some other documents, when you request information. And you read the Axon case, I'll tell you how to search it. And you read that and you don't know what you're reading, it's going to sound a lot like wherever it is you are. They don't care. They don't think they have to care. You don't have any rights. See you later. Not how it works there. That's not the original intent of the framers. Nothing remotely resembling it. And that's what we want back. I know it wasn't a perfect government. Only the best one ever invented. We want it back. We'll make changes from there and do it right this time. And we get in there, we get around the jerk court. And in my Iowa case, I've talked about this 8 months last year in Iowa. I can't believe I'm saying this. And the jerk court there in Sioux City, because I handed him a 52-page writ of habeas corpus. 52 pages. Page 1, non-statutory federal writ. Can't be suspended except in declared states of rebellion or invasion. This jackass exercises the judicial power of the state of Iowa in this case and changes it to 28 U.S.C. 2254. Not only a statutory enactment of Congress, but appropriately enough, another war act of the 39th Congress during Reconstruction. And that major issue I'm going to have before the Supreme Court this term. Whether they're going to hear it this term, I don't know. In fact, I'm going to tell them that I know some of the issues with an election year in progress, and there hasn't been an election in 160 years. But that said, they don't want to answer certain questions. I'm going to say, fine. Take the case, put it on the docket for the next term after the election. Tell all the lower courts to stand down and very probably release people that are in jail because of unlawful judgments. But you'll make a ruling later on it when the election, quote unquote, has occurred and Trump gets back in. And it's going to be hard to see how Biden can steal this, quote unquote, election if he ain't going to win a single state. And we get replacements on there for Thomas and Alito who can retire. And now we're there the next 12 or 15 years. That's what we're waiting for. And now they can go more or less full speed back to the original intent and away from all this crap, from the 14th War Amendment, which, if you don't know, is closely associated with federal regional martial law rule. Find out more, send me an email, unincourt@gmail.com. And this affects just about every phase of your life, especially with licenses, and you don't need any, by the way. License, Black Sport Law Dictionary, permission granted by competent authority, Inc. Without such permission to do an act that would be illegal, a trespass, or a tort. We need their permission to get married, to travel, to use our common law conveyance, to open a business. With that definition, it's out the window. And not only that, we're not represented anywhere in this de facto national socialist government. State, local, my former hometown of Washington, D.C., ain't. See you later. Not represented there. All they have are mindless, subordinate, corporate, dead entities. And you'll learn all about that. Send me a email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com, because we're not there anymore. And if that's the case, for magic word, and ain't due process of law, consent of the governed. It's not anywhere in sight. And these bastards know it, especially the New York banksters. They got it all done primarily during Reconstruction, though. It's been an ongoing process. You'll learn more about American history, too, and I know a hell of a lot about that. But that's how we got here. No judicial courts, no trial by jury, nothing. And habeas corpus been suspended. I mean, they all disappeared like a fart in the wind. And yet they're all still there if you know what you're doing and how to present your issues, especially to the 9-0 parts in Washington, D.C. Acting like a judicial court for the first time in 90 years. And yes, they've been complicit here too, which I've said to them in communications that I've had, that you know as well as I do. I'm very grateful for what you're doing now. Just do it best. That would be real nice. So it's a great thing, like I said, no matter what you're doing, where you are, and among other things you get with this my initial reply is a demand for a continuance. So you stop proceedings in the trial court and tell them you need to get a continuance for at least 30, if not 60 days, because of structural jurisdictional errors that have just come to your attention, and you need to consult counsel. The only bright they think we have, effective assistance of counsel. Boy, you're going to learn a lot about that one. Send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com. But it's good news all around. And we can do some amazing things. I've got things in progress now as a direct result of actions by the U.S. Supreme Court in Iowa and Georgia, but nothing officially on the record. But they're involved, and the only way at the moment they think they can be. It's exciting stuff here. And it's going to get better before the summer is over, let alone the rest of the year. So this is really looking like a big year for a turnaround here, especially in the next term when they come back and know that they can go full speed ahead. So it's all exciting news. And like I say, to learn more, send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com. I'll get right back to you here. And the exciting material, simple stuff. I don't use a lot of legalese. And with materials, you get complimentary phone consultations, because I know you're going to have to get up to speed a little bit here. Some of you, in fact, most of you probably instinctively know how bad it is in quote unquote their courts. And you're going to learn what we should have and see the difference. And plain as day, you have a right to be in a judicial court with a neutral magistrate, something you never see today. And we got things taken care of there and then. So you'll learn all about that. Send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe, like the videos, tell your friends, get the word out. The quicker and faster we all act, the sooner we're going to get our government back to what it should be. And that's great news for you, your children, and your posterity. Thank you.